Sunday. Today is Pop Up Sunday with Crystal. So, how are you all doing on today? I am so glad that I'm able to come on. So, come on in the room for those of you that will be listening later at the live at a later time. Please like, share, and subscribe and press the button so that you will know each time when I come on live. Okay, share the love, you guys. Share the love. Like and share and subscribe. I first want to come on to say that my books are still available. I have a 31-day prayer journal that is for widows. Again, it's a 31-day prayer journal, can be ordered through me or through Amazon. God's Love for the Grieving Widow. It's a 31-day journal that I did after losing my late husband. And so it would be really a blessing to someone that has lost their spouse. So it's God's Love for the Grieving Widow. Again, can be ordered through me or Amazon. And then I did a book, There is Beauty in My Brokenness, and it also can be purchased. It is for everyone. It is a great read. It's a quick, fast, easy read, but it's my heart. It's um, my story of me and my husband from our beginning until our end, until God called him home. And it is beauty in my there is beauty in my brokenness is the name of the book. Um, I first want to say to you as a disclosure that I am not a lawyer, I am not a paralegal, I am just someone that has a testimony of what God did for me in the midst of me losing my husband, in the midst of grief, in the midst of hurt, in the midst of having to figure out how to do it alone without having your significant other actually here with you in the physical. I know that a lot of times people say, well, God is with you, and He is with me. But at the same time, I miss my husband. I miss my husband being here physically with me to do things to help me get along with things, to help me to be my partner in just everything that I find myself facing today as a widow. And so I just wanted to get on also to encourage us during this season and this time, because I know it's hard for us all, even if you're not a widow. I know that it can be very difficult and hard and challenging during this time of the year, even if you've lost anyone, any loved one. So I wanted to come on to say to you all, I have been talking about getting your affairs in order due to the fact that I just got through finishing probate. And it is no joke, you guys. So just think about it like this. A lot of times we think we can't afford it. But if you have an iPhone, if you have a Gucci purse, if you have a Louis Vuitton, if you driving the finest cars, listen, you can afford to get your revocable living trust or your irrevocable living trust, depending on what you have, what would be best for you. And so it's just so important. I've been watching over the last couple of weeks my loved ones, good close friends of mine that has been challenged, has had the flu. My niece has the flu, my granddaughter had the flu, and my good friend had the flu, to where they were calling and saying, hey, I think I'm checking out of here. And really felt like they weren't going to be able to make it any longer. And so it's just important that we don't take it for granted, that we need to get our affairs in order, you guys. Listen, if you cannot afford it and you think you cannot afford it, like I knew I could not afford to get a trust. But at the same time, I knew that God was making me go in this direction in order to get my affairs in order because of what I went through myself, and I did not want my children to go through probate. So if you own property and you are married, go and check and see what your deed says, because what your deed says is what really matters. And what you want your deed to say is survivalship, joint tenant with survivalship. And that way, you can cover yourself. And for those of you out there already that have lost your spouses, you want to make sure that you cover your children. So that's what was really important to me, because I knew my kids would eventually probably lost the home. And sometimes because we're not educated on what to do, we tend to um, just lose it. The house can go in foreclosure. Um, you just don't know. But what I wanted to talk about mainly today, instead of jumping around, because I have so much information in my brain that I would love to get out to you guys, is I said I was going to focus today on getting your power of attorney. Now, Law Depot are real lawyers that draft up. They do your trust, they do your will. But you have to educate yourself on if you're going to do it yourself. Edmund Yang, Tree of Life, is in California in the South Bay area, and he is a real lawyer, but he does teach you how to do your trust yourself. And so that's one option. The second option is it's really important that you go ahead and get your power of attorney, because we never know when we can become incapacitated. So I have two friends that are just near and dear to me, who husbands are has been challenged, has became incapacitated. So if your husband become incapacitated, and or your wife becomes incapacitated, listen, it's nothing you can do, because a lot of times we think because we have beneficiaries down, that covers us from having to go to probate. Well, you'll end up having to go to probate while you're still alive if you become incapacitated, and those things are not available for your loved ones to be able to come and get the proper things that they need to get to go ahead, and so you can save yourself a lot of money. So if you don't own property, but you do have a job, you have a bank account, you have a car, you have a car note and stuff, it is just so important that you get the power of attorney, because that way your loved one who you choose to be your power of attorney, who you trust to be your power of attorney, because they will be over your stuff because you will be incapacitated, then that way your bills can continue being paid, especially if you are, even if you're on disability, if you're on social security or retirement. You have they When they find out that you became incapacitated, they lock up all of your stuff, so you cannot move forward. You can't, when you start probate, you can't move forward. So just imagine this: a widow, she loses her husband, and she has to open up a probate. Well, the bank accounts and all of the finances are locked as soon as they find out that that person is incapacitated. Or if you just have that person as a beneficiary, the beneficiary is only benefit to you if you are to actually pass away. But what if you become incapacitated and you're still here? The beneficiary can't go to your job and say, hey, I want this money, or this, I need this finances so that I can keep taking care of my mom, my dad, my wife, my spouse, my husband, my significant other, whoever you stay with, that they will be able to continue on, taking care of you until you get your healing, right? So I just wanted to really talk about that today. And I wanted to also talk about, again, you can go through Law Depot. Law Depot has been around for at least 20 years plus. They are real lawyers that draft up your power of attorney for you. There is a video that you can go and watch if you don't know what you're doing. It is very easy, but if you don't know what you're doing, there is a video that you can go and look up. Look up videos on YouTube to find out, or go to a paralegal or go to a lawyer and say, "Hey, I need to get my power of attorney, and put my power of attorney in place," because you don't want to have your loved ones going to um, probate while you're alive for conservatorship. Okay, so if you can't do anything else right now, go and do that. At least do that. You can at least get that done until you figure out how you can have some finances to do your trust. You want to put something in place. You don't want to just leave it. You don't. Trust me, you don't want to leave it. And so, also, I would like to speak to widows out there and widowers that are out there that have already lost their spouses. And I mean, you wouldn't be a widow or a widower if you hadn't lost your spouse already. But for those of you that are out there are a couple of things that you can do, that will benefit you. Like, you can claim your husband last taxes, and you will be able to receive his last taxes. And so, talk to a tax person to find out, say, "Hey, you know what, my husband passed away, and I heard that I can claim my husband last taxes." That can be a form of some type of income for you, the upcoming tax time. And if there's some of you out there that have already lost your loved ones and you don't know what to do and you don't know which way and which direction to go in, you may be like I was. My name was not on my home, and so I had to go to probate. But there is ways and different things that we can do to try to avoid a full probate, and it is called a spousal's petition versus a full probate. So you would save, say, maybe 20,000, 30,000 compared to doing a full probate. You can look into doing a spousal's petition. And if you've already have not been able to get your husband's or your wife's finances that have been tied up in the bank, if they've had investments and you've not been able to do it, well, I'm in California, but check and see your state if you can do a small affidavit. And that way you will be able to get any of the funds anywhere from 188,000. You will be able to get that money if you need to. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say for today, and I pray that this blesses someone. Leave me a message, and if you have any questions about the books or any questions about probate, like I said, all I'm doing is giving the information as a testimony of me, from me, to let you guys know to get your affairs in order, because I don't want you to have to go through what I've had to go through. Okay? Love you guys, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.